Hello. Tomorrow, you have a test, 25 questions, multiple choice. You have a focus, a study guide, and an outline too. Please make sure you are ready to go for that tomorrow. I will not lie to you. Your test, you could take it today and do perfectly fine. But please, to help out your girl, please don't get an A. A 44 is a really great score. I'm just going to say. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to finish content today. We don't have a ton to do. So everyone, in order to be successful for today, you need to have a whiteboard, a focus, and a study guide. Oh my God, look at you. You're all so prepared. Wonderful. On your whiteboard, please tell me, if I have an intelligence of 35, what am I? 35. Good. What is it, Catherine? Severe. There you go. I require assistance. I am unable to live alone, yet I can do some basic tasks like feeding myself, but I cannot dress, and I will never live independently. What am I, Caroline? Moderate. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the first environment we are all put in? Good. Samuel. Womb. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is, sorry, I just got a text. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what can cause mental retardation while in the womb if your mother is drinking? What is the name of the disorder it can cause, which causes mental retardation? I have 1, 2, 3. Good. What is it, Curran? Fetal alcohol syndrome. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what percentage of the population are known as intellectually superior or gifted? What is it, Rex? 2%. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the dude who did the longitudinal study on gifted people and found out that despite the fact that you would think they would be sad and alone in their lives because they're too smart for other people, they actually live happy lives? What is the name of the dude, Sarah? Derman. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when there is an equal distribution of intelligences? You have some super bright ones, some really dumb ones. However, a majority of the population are in the middle. What is that called? Maggie? A bell curve.
Standard deviation.
Standard deviation is how you create a bell curve. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is a system for combining symbols such as words so that an unlimited number of meaningful statements can be made for the purpose of communicating with others? No. Guys, you're making this harder. Maya, please educate Pierce. Language. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the smallest unit of meaning? Like geo and ology. Dennis, hi. Do better. Look at your stuff instead of looking at your word and then looking at hers. Do better, please. I can watch you. You don't know the answer, look at your stuff. Yeah? Cool. What is it? Lauren? Morphemes. On your whiteboard. What is it, Sophia? Phonemes. On your whiteboard, please tell me, these are the system of rules for combining words and phrases to form grammatically correct sentences. What do you got, Samuel? Syntax. On your whiteboard, these are the rules of governing the structure and the use of language. These are the rules. What is it? Diana? Grammar. On your whiteboard, what are the rules for determining the meaning of words and sentences? Grace Mary, what are you eating?
They're sweet tarts.
They're tiny, though. They're weird looking.
They're like round ones.
They're like what?
They're like chewy ones. Calvin asked for some. Can I give her some?
I don't care.
Those are good.
Take some. But don't red. Or the green.
Are those like the ball-shaped ones? Because
Yeah.
those are fire, yeah. Those are
Kinda,
What are they, Dennis?
Semantics.
Semantics. On your whiteboard, please tell me. I hate when I'm talking to someone and they close their eyes and don't follow the rules of language and the interaction. It's weird and uncomfortable, especially when people talk too close to me. Or like when people spit when they talk. It's gross. What is it, Sarah? Pragmatics. On your whiteboard, what is the name of the theory that believes the more words you have in your head, the more complex your thoughts are? Rex, I really appreciate that effort. You just really went above and beyond on that one.
And that was the most efficient way of writing it, right?
Maybe write it out next time.
I'll try.
What is it, Rex?
The linguistic relativity theory.
Yeah. Maybe write it out next time.
Gotcha.
On your whiteboard, what is the belief that all of us have the same language and universal thoughts in our head? However, it is our experiences that change it. Good, Carolee. Cognitive universalism. On your whiteboard, what is the name of the monkey that knew between 4,000 and 5,000 words? Good. What is it, Catherine?
Kanzi.
Kanzi. Alright. That is the end of the PowerPoint. So I'm not going to turn on the PowerPoint because there's no point, because we're going to fill in the rest of the stuff on your study guide. Here we go. Let's go to Fragile X syndrome. It's on the front of your focus. We'll fill that in. Fragile X. Bless you. Fragile. It's on the study guide too, isn't it? There you go. Fragile X syndrome is a genetic disorder in men. It is only in men. It's a genetic disorder found only in men where... I just want to make sure I have it right. Where the defective chromosome has a severe protein deficiency. Where a defective chromosome has a severe protein deficiency. Where a defective chromosome has a severe protein deficiency. And this causes mental retardation. They also have really feminine faces and body structure, very little muscle mass. Every once in a while, I see someone out and about, and I'm like, oh, they have Fragile X. Because you can tell. It's like a kid with Down syndrome. Like, you know when a kid has Down syndrome, right? Like, you can identify they have a larger forehead, their eyes are more wide set. They have physical characteristics of their disorder. Same thing with Fragile X syndrome. There's physical components. All right, what is the next one we need, Carolee? Emotional intelligence. I think we talked about this, but that's fine, Carolee. I'll help you out. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand our own and others.
Wait, where is it? On faculty studies. Oh, I see it.
Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand our own and others' emotions and how to control them. Okay, I will tell you, I am very self-aware. I know myself pretty damn well. I'm pretty explicit in the things I like. I'm very explicit in the things I don't like. I will tell you I'm not very good at emotional intelligence. Because when I'm in a good mood, everyone's in a good mood. When I'm cranky, I burn the world down. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
I'm not really good at regulating my emotions. When I'm happy, I'm happy. When I'm sad, I literally just want to cry in the shower.
You're usually in a good mood.
I don't think you really listen to other people.
I do.
I get things done every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't crawl up in a ball and just say, "Meh, I'm sad." That's not who. We gotta get things done. But I wouldn't say I'm in a good mood. No one's like, "Oh my God, Miss Bennett is the most cheerful person I know."
You have your days though, for sure.
No.
Yes.
You definitely have your days.
This year. There's
How
been a
old are you?
couple.
Yeah, how old are you?
Like when
Yeah.
your,
Did you know how much candy I ate?
There are days where you can just go on like tangents of
like when your
you're
friend
out-
came into
it's a
town.
tangent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
It's not very often.
It's only like 2 times a week.
Fake
That's like once a week or once a
It's a special occasion.
All right, moving on to the next one. Carly, what do you need? All right, who can tell me what is nature nurture? When we say nature nurture, you can raise your hand and tell me. We talked about this week 1 and it's back, and we'll be talking about it every single week going forward. Dennis.
So like whether it's your experiences in where your environment affect who you are, or it's how you're brought up that affect who you are.
Environment is how you're brought up.
Oh wait, nature.
Help them out, Sophia.
It's like how you're born versus like
Genetics versus your environment. Okay, it's genetics versus environment. That's the nature nurture argument. So we haven't answered the question yet, so no one should be writing anything down. So we're looking at how nature affects your intelligence. So nature is your genetics. So how does your genetics affect your intelligence? Nathan.
Smart parents, you're basically predestined to be smart.
Yes! If both of your parents have graduated from college and are working in a professional job that requires said degree, technically, probably, you're destined to have some intelligence. Can we agree? Theoretically, believe me, I do not equate a college degree and saying you have great intelligence. If you've gone to a college campus, you'll see it's filled with idiots. Okay? Just because you have a college degree does not make you smart. I'll tell you that right now. There's a lot of very smart people who don't have college degrees, and they don't have that debt either, so who's the real idiot? Moving forward. Nature is the genetics you get from your parents. So if both of your parents are very bright, you are going to be bright. Okay, so that's the nature component of it. It's decided pre-birth, obviously. Okay, so nurture is your environment. Okay, so it is how your parents have raised you since birth. Okay, there are lots of things. Now, when you decide that you are grown enough to have children, which, by the way, I am not grown enough. I am not mature enough to have children. Because when you make that decision, your whole life has to change, right? Okay? When you have decided to have children, it is your responsibility to read to your child every single day. Because reading to a child, letting them hear, or reading a story, pointing out the words you're reading, doing all of those things is what makes an intellectual child. Whether you have the nature there or not, it is the nurture that is really going to push that kid. With that being said, do not have a child until you're willing and able to do the right stuff. If you're not going to talk to your child, don't have a kid. Like, I hate when I see a little kid, like I'm talking 2 or 3 years old, in the cart at Publix being pushed around by his mama, and his mama has headphones on. Or his papa. I've seen that numerous times too. And the mom is just kind of vibing around with her music, and the kid's just like, When you have a kid, ladies and gentlemen, every single moment of your life is supposed to be educating that kid, because who's going to pay for your nursing home? If you have a stupid kid, you're not going to get into a good nursing home. Okay? You've got to have a smart kid. So what you should be doing when you're at the grocery store and you have a kid, guess what you should be talking to? The damn kid. What is this? What is this? This is an apple. This is a pineapple. This is a mango. Actually, I don't know if I could identify a mango. I'm just going to say it.
We all.
I think those are the big ones, right?
We-
I don't know. I don't know which big
They're
ones.
Which big one?
They kind of look like a pear, but like not even.
Yeah.
Miss Bennett, we all have a flaws.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if I can agree. Yeah, so you're all jumped on my case because I admitted I didn't know. Okay? There are lots of things we do to nurture our children's intelligences. Besides reading and speaking to our kids, what are other ways we nurture our children's intelligence? Come on, Aiden.
Send them to school.
Sort of.
School is kind of not really.
Like, I'm talking like preschool. What do we do? Claire?
Would be like encouragement and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, telling your kid you're not an idiot is great. Like, sure, you're so smart. Instead of saying you're an idiot, you'll be a failure. That's not really supportive. Fine. Maya? Daycare is kind of a good... Guys, what can you do? Like, basic things that every parent can do. Samuel?
The addition flashcards.
There you go. I'm going to teach my kid when we have one, if we have one in the far, 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 far future. We're going to teach him 21. Blackjack.
Yes. It's good.
Because I will tell you, I'm not great at math. I'm not great at math. But McCrae loves to gamble. He loves it, and he's pretty good at it. I mean, let's not get wild. My life is not more comfortable because of it, but he's pretty good at it. So it's hard to complain about it when he makes money at it, you know. So, damn it.
Support the
So sitting at the table watching him play blackjack for hours on end, which is how I've spent hours of my life, probably days of my life at this point. I've gotten better at math because you need to count fast in order to keep up because the dealers are super quick, and then of course my husband already knows the math except when he's been at the table a little long. And stuff like that. So we're gonna have our kid play blackjack. We're gonna do addition. It's a great idea. It makes them count quick, makes them move faster. How about playing with blocks? No, videos are terrible. There's a huge article that was just released this week that's saying showing kids video screens before the age of 5 literally stuns their intelligence. Yeah. Yeah, the more screen time you watch, the dumber your kids are going to be. That's what science has told us this week.
I feel like there's not enough, what are the long-term effects?
We don't know yet.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why this research was done over the last 8 years, and they just released it this past week. You can read it on CNN if you want to see. But apparently, if you watch more than an hour of screen time a day, there's kids who are addicted to screen time. We're getting
I'm
distracted.
sure my mom will send me the article at some point.
With that being said, blocks. I will tell you, we went to a 1-year-old birthday party, and the Bennett showed up, and there was it was the most over-top birthday I've ever been to, and it was for a 1-year-old. How annoying. Anyway, so we went to this birthday, and McCray and I show up, and there's this massive table of gifts, and we're just like, holy shit. Have you ever walked into a room and there's just a huge pile of gifts, and you're like, this is already too much, we should leave? That's how the Bennetts felt. So we put our gifts on the table, and then we have to watch the gift opening, which takes an hour, because it's a baby. And because it's a baby, it's really the parents doing it, and it's just the worst. Anyway, every single gift was a toy that blinked and flashed, or closed.
Oh, there's no one.
Is there any intellectual stimulation there?
What did you buy? Blocks.
I bought blocks. And I bought 4 books.
Oh, what book?
Yeah, I bought, so this is like McCray's best friend, and they have a kid. And so I already bought them like the classics, like Make Way for Ducklings, and like a bunch like Blueberries for Sal, and like some like my old
Classics.
There's my generation, not your generation, Claire. You go read about Dora the Explorer or some shit. Whatever your generation. Yeah, Good Night Moon. Goodbye Moon. I think we bought him that one too. Oh, mine was the one with the boy and the monsters.
Where the wild things?
Yes.
Those are all classics.
Classic. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, at a party for a 1-year-old, there was like 50 people at. No, we'll never do any of that crap. With that being said, the Bennetts were the only one that brought an academic gift. One that will make the kids smarter. Isn't that sad? We're getting off topic here. Reading, building blocks. Building blocks is actually really important for developmental because it allows the kid to think. You have to put the blocks on a certain way, correct? That you can build. You also, in your head, have to kind of plan out what you want to do next and be able to move and negotiate. It also works with dexterity. It's a good thing. So, nature and nurture. The more opportunities you are given to think, the better thinker you will be. That's nurture on intelligence. All right, what's the next thing you need, Caroline? Cognitive reserve is depending on what is occurring. Your brain uses more energy or saves energy. Depending on what is happening, your brain either uses more energy or less energy. Everyone in this room is good at doing something. I'm actually a pretty good cook. I'm not like a baker. Like, I'm okay baking. Like, I can follow a recipe and like it won't come out like crap. But like, I'm pretty good at cooking, like making savory dishes. McCray's really good at grilling. He's really good at that. He's not very good at other things, but he is good at that. Like, he can make like the perfect cheeseburger, the perfect steak, all that stuff. But other things, not so much. With that being said, when McCray is like cooking, when McCray and I are cooking, because that's something we like to do, like we enjoy it, we come up with a recipe, and that's how we spend date night, is we make a recipe we've never made that's way more complicated than it should be. And we sit there in the kitchen and drink a glass of wine or a bottle, and we make whatever fancy recipe, and we sit down and enjoy the meal and all that stuff. It's like a nice date night. And with that being said, McCray and I, while we're cooking, that's easy for us. How many of you really suck at cooking and it is stressful and you just want to die? There you go. So for you, cooking is one of those things that requires stress, a lot of intelligence, and it's just too much with it. For McCray and I, we've done it so much, we enjoy doing it, it's easy for us. Like some of you who can learn a dance move very quickly. Okay? You can pick up a routine really, really quick, and you can use it immediately. Hot damn. Not a shot in hell. Can your girl clap on cue so you know I'm not stepping in the right direction at the right time? I've done a Zumba class before. By the way, the Zumba class was at a gym, obviously. And then my husband was on the other side of the window, and he just stood there and just laughed so hard at me I had to leave the class. It was so embarrassing. I'm so bad at it because everyone in the whole group, including like 90-year-old women, are all going left. Samantha Bennett's going right. Everyone's going to the front, and I'm smashing into the poor person behind me. It's terrible. I just don't have rhythm. It's fine. What's the next one, Caroline? Savant. Savant. Savant is a person who is mentally deficient. Savant is a person who is mentally deficient in all areas except for one, where they are like incredible, like I can't come up with a word, but like way above normal, exceptionally above the average. There you go. Okay, the most famous example, which I don't even know if this reference is going to be heard. Huh? Rain Man. Yes. Any of you seen Rain Man? It's a great movie. It's a Samuel, I knew we were kindred spirits. It's with Tom Cruise, and despite the fact I hate Tom Cruise, it's actually a good movie. I hate Tom Cruise.
What did he do?
Tom Cruise is like a wackadoo.
Oh my gosh, I
Is he
watched
the
someone else.
Scientologist?
Sorry.
I thought it was Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, America's favorite person.
I thought you said you don't like Tom Hanks.
No, I love Tom Hanks. I can't wait to see the Mr. Rogers movie.
Oh my God.
I can't wait. Oh, Mr. Rogers, you haven't seen the commercials? It's on like every station. If you watch football, all you're watching is football and then Mr. Rogers commercials.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Huh?
That looks so.
No, Christmas doesn't start till December.
Oh, look with the guys who crazy rich Asians.
We're moving forward. What?
My little cousin is in town. All she will watch to make her happy is Mr. Rogers. I watch
Oh my God,
so
that's
much.
so nice. That's
we watch
great.
so much Mr. Rogers.
Speaking of developmental, you know how we're trying to end with nurturing intelligences? Ladies and gentlemen, by putting a child in front of SpongeBob SquarePants, you are literally hurting their intelligences. Okay? Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to watch it because it's not designed for children. It's designed for adults. It was designed for Adult Swim, the Cartoon Network, but it got rejected, so they brought it to Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon bought it, and then ta-da, we have it. It goes too fast. The processing, the images are too fast. The kids can't process it, so they only hear every other word or some phrasing, and they just laugh at things because they think it's funny because they don't understand what's happening. They don't actually get the joke. Have you watched a SpongeBob episode as an adult and you learn how disgusting it is?
It's so funny.
Okay, with that being said, on the flip side, ladies and gentlemen, have you watched Dora the Explorer? Where she wanders around and there's like this awkward pause all the time. She's like, let me get my map. Sure. Dora, I know the Blue's Clues, so I was a Blue's Clues generation. It's mail time, mail time, mail time. It's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to well mail. Okay? But if you watch those shows, they have processing time. They say something like, the mail's here. And then they walk to go get the mail. And then they'll ask a question like, hello, Steve. How are you today? Thanks, Steve. I don't know the names, but like there's delay. That is how kids process information. It's very slow. By giving them time to process, you're engaging their thoughts. Like, which direction should we go? There's like a long pause. And as an adult, you're sitting there, damn it, go left, Steve. Left. Dora, this is not that hard. Just pick the blue one. And you're like, because it's so slow for us because our brains think much faster. But that is like fostering this whole idea. So when you talk to kids, you shouldn't talk too fast to them because they can't process what you're saying. It's slowly, clearly, and all that stuff. Don't have kids if you're not willing to do all this crap, people. Savant. How did we get here? Savants are, the perfect example is Rain Man, which only me and Sam will know because we're awesome. It's a great movie with Tom Cruise, even though he's terrible. His father dies, he goes to the funeral, he realizes he has a stepbrother. His stepbrother is the Rain guy, and I can't remember the guy's name. I know his name. He was in The Graduate. I see his face, but I can't come up with it. Anyway, he has mental retardation. He doesn't know how to, he has mild retardation. However, he only talks about fish sticks. Every Wednesday he goes to Sears. He doesn't know, he can't pour himself a glass of milk, and he has this neurosis about him. However, my man loves math. He doesn't know how much a gallon of milk costs, but he loves math. So obviously Tom Cruise takes his half-brother to Vegas. If you've ever seen The Hangover, have you seen The Hangover?
Yes.
Yeah.
They pay homage to Rain Man, the whole movie. You know how when they have what the hell is the name? The fat guy. What's his name? Zach Galifianakis' character. That's literally the Rain Man. They're paying homage to the Rain Man. Anyway, savants. Savants are particularly skilled in one area. I happen to know there is a savant who cannot dress himself, cannot do anything, take care of himself, but he is the leader and the furthest person who can get away from pie all the way down. You know how pie goes on forever? Yeah, he can do, not like eat pie. How's that a talent? But he can do pi the longest. He's a savant. He can't add, he can't do basic multiplication, but he can tell you how far pi goes. There's another savant who knows every baseball statistic in the history of baseball and adds to it every single day. But what skill is that? Like, he can't bathe himself, he can't take care of himself, but he can tell you every baseball statistic in the history of time. There's a football kid who does the same thing. Those are savants. Now, in a local one, and this isn't bashing anyone, Rushi here is not a savant. However, she is super skilled artistically. Can we agree? She makes her own clothes, makes her own jewelry. She's this sweet Indian girl who walks around and talks about all of her clothes and says hi to people all the time.
I know who that is now.
There you go. Okay.
Nice to know.
She is not, I would not qualify her as a savant, but she is a really good example of someone who is above average, but she's not in the exceptional range. Does that make sense? And this isn't me talking crap about my girl, because I'm not. I'm just trying to explain that when you're a savant, you're in like a super, super, super elite category. Does that make sense? Now, can I sew? No. Okay. Am I creative at all? Absolutely not. Is Rushi better than me than everything else in the creativity? Absolutely, without a doubt. But she technically isn't a savant, but you can see where that's kind of going. Maggie.
There's people that can, like, if you tell them, like, oh, my birthday was this day, this day, this year,
Yeah.
they can tell you exactly what day of the week it is.
Yeah, and they can tell you what, like, major events.
No way.
That's a savant, yeah. Because that's the only skill they have.
Yeah.
The only thing. Like, there's a couple savants who have learned, who cannot feed themselves, cannot bathe themselves, cannot live on their own, but can play every single Beethoven symphonies.
I know like those Scrabble.
Yeah, there's a Scrabble.
Feeling.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. What do you got?
There's a guy in my church named Steve, and like when he first meets you, like he'll remember your face and he'll remember your birthday is this day, this day, this day. You were born on the day this guy was killed, and like his parents take care of him because like he can't live on his own, but he knows everything about everyone's birthday in the church. Whenever he sees someone he doesn't know, he goes up to them, introduces himself, and like asks them like their name. He'll be like, "You are a Cancer, and you
That's
were
awesome.
like born like on a Tuesday." And like it's crazy.
That's
It's
so cool.
'Cause
There
it
you
all
go.
remembers.
However, ladies and gentlemen, it's a cool talent.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But what do you do with it? Now, every once in a while you have a savant who can make money on it, right? Piano, violin, or like some other, but most of the time, it's just kind of a weird thing they can do. All right, what do you got? What else? You're done? Oh, Carol Lee's done. I'm done.
Oh, the focus is what is the relationship between.
Oh, you can do one on your own. You can do that. Oh, you do need to know one more. On the bottom of your study guide, You need to know Chomsky, nativist theory. That's on your test tomorrow.
Where is
Chomsky, you're adding it to the bottom. If you're sitting in my room and your entire thing is not filled in, you are doing something horribly wrong and wasting your time and my time. Cool, but even the ones I've done today, you still haven't filled in. Cool. Okay, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Chomsky's nativist theory. You need to know it's on your test tomorrow. Chomsky's the guy behind it. Nativist theory is the theory. It is the belief that language is innate. You can raise your hand and tell me what innate means.
Wait, native or natives?
Native. What is it? Rex.
Oh, it like comes naturally. Like you're not.
Yeah, it's born within you.
You're born with it,
Yeah, you're born with it. So you're not taught it, you're born with it. And he cites the fact that twins, if you know any like fraternal or identical. Yeah. What's the other term?
Fraternal and
Fraternal and identical.
Oh, what's the one where they're like attached? Siamese.
Oh.
Conjoined. We don't call them Siamese, we call them conjoined. Siamese is like a derogatory term towards Asians. Siamese twins are Asian twins that are acrobats that literally do it. That's where the term comes from. It's a derogatory term. Chinese. Siamese twins.
I actually didn't even know that.
Okay, we're moving forward here. We're moving forward. You need to know that he thinks language is born within us. So even if we were born to a pack of wolves, and the wolves raised us, that we would be speaking on our own, whether we were exposed to languages or not. Okay? Okay, now keep in mind, when we have language, every baby coos all around the world in the same type of tone. Every baby starts doing their phonetics, like ma, gaga, wooga, whatever crap they do. And then they start evolving their syllables from there. That is what he's talking about. It's a theory, it's not fact. However, we do know that we have had feral children before. Feral children mean they were raised without parents in the woods in isolation. And we know for a fact, there's a very famous one that was found in the woods in the 1830s. There was one that was called Wolf Boy. Anyway, yeah. And they came into civilization with a language. It was not English, obviously. They lived in the woods. But they came in with their own language in order to come up with stuff. So there is some support to this theory. I think it's true. Smile. Shh.
What's the major figure in cognitive universalism?
Huh?
What's the major figure in cognitive universalism?
Cognitive universalism is, I don't know. You're going to have to figure that one out. I'm so sorry. My brain hurts. What did they do with twins?
You started talking about twins.
Cognitive the nativist theory is about how twins have a language in the womb.
Do you believe in?
I think there's definitely a connection. That whether it's a secret mental language, but they kind of get tics from the way they interact, their smiles and interactions, and they have an idea. Alright, I'm done with you, please.
Is that the thing with being telepathy and all that?